Good morning, everybody. Welcome to New York Live with IT Trader. Let's see here. Yeah, today's a holiday here in Canada. We got Family Day. I mean, it's kind of a new holiday. I mean, not that new anymore, but it's the newest one, I think, of the bunch. Um,
You got lots of it.
what's that?
You got lots of it.
Holidays?
Yeah.
Uh, I think they have one like at least like every other month or so. Like
Okay.
I think it's on purpose. Um, but yeah, I mean, I I like holidays, but I also am an addict when it comes to markets and code. So if it if the computer is on, if the electricity is working, and I'm sitting here, Um, all right, IT. I have shared everything and yeah, ready to go whenever you are. I'll pass you the mic.
Okay, cool. Give me one sec as I share this link over here as well.
Well,
And then check with me for the volume,
yeah.
and let's see how share, share. Okay. How's it sound like?
I would drop it down a bit. It's yeah, that's
Right.
good. Great, thank you.
Awesome. Okay,
All right,
let's go.
let's do this.
All right. Welcome everybody to a new week. I hope you're all doing well. Um, so screen went.
Uh-oh.
Last week we were looking for dollar index to drop, and we did get that beautifully. And right now, if you go back to the monthly time frame, you understand um at the beginning of the month when I said, this month we will be attacking this candles law, right? So you can go back and watch the beginning of the month or even on the 30th of January. I think it was a Thursday or Friday, Thursday and Friday, 31st, where I was discussing how I wanted this candle to end by the month. And then that would give us a good idea how this month was going to trade. And we've seen that happen. Now, we still have a bit of room to the downside, which is somewhere here. Hence, this week we are looking for lower prices. Okay. Um, that line is done. I'm gonna keep this. So as it stands, this is our range that we are trading in right now. This high, which is last week high to today. Yeah, today, including today. So the idea for this week is we are looking for lower prices on dollar index to trade to 106.272. That's the target for the week, right? We can go beyond that, but we will use that as uh, the low hanging fruit according to ICT. That's the easiest target for price to reach for this week, and then we can continuing going lower to attack this low, right? So 106.27 first, and then we aim for 105.41, right? On the upside, we can get a pullback to attack Friday's high, which comes in at 107.18. Now, for that to happen, we have to go on to the lower time frame to see. Now, under normal circumstances, that's what I want to see, okay? Because the power of three is always going to be an influence in price. I don't need the monthly open anymore, so let me get rid of it. It has served its purpose for now. We don't need it. Okay. I need the weekly open. So let's see if, yeah, it should come up on the lower time frame. Okay, my weekly open is not coming up. Why are you not coming up? Bear with me, let me check if there's something wrong. It's meant to show the weekly opening price. Okay, let me take it off and bring it back on, because I need to see where the market opened for the week. Okay, there it is. So this is the weekly opening price, 106.70. So we want price to trade up first, right? And then we go down for the week. Hence, this is the level that I was talking about in the lower time frame. If we can trade through that, because this is a high probability fair value gap here on the lower time frame. So if we trade through it, then there's a high probability that they will take out Friday's high before we go down for the week. Hence, we can look at this area here, this auto block. So if we trade through that fair value gap, then we will be anticipating Monday to finish as an up candle, and then Tuesday potentially also being either an up candle, or it can be a Monday high taken, and then it will reject and be a down candle for Tuesday, which will be something like this. So Monday will be an up candle, and then Tuesday will be something like this. Okay, that Tuesday will take out that Monday's high, and then this will end up being like a down candle, right? So we might anticipate either something like this. If we trade through this gap here, we might have either this and then Wednesday we drop, or we'll have the first one, which is that one. Okay, so if we trade through this, then this is the potential pattern that we will be anticipating price giving us going to the rest of the week. Okay, now if you check the economic calendar for this week, it's full of high impact news from Tuesday all the way till Friday. I do recommend that, you know, as a trader, you get yourself familiar with the economic calendar, because it's going to give you when there are going to be big moves in the market. So I'm just gonna give you a few of them. we do have rate announcement on the Australian dollar, which is tomorrow, 3:30 a.m. GMT. So wherever you are, convert that to your local time because that's gonna bring a lot of volatility in the Australian dollar. Okay, so that's 3:30 a.m. GMT for the Australian dollar. We also have the CPI for Canadian dollar, 1:30 tomorrow p.m. 1:30 p.m. GMT. All the time is GMT. So just convert the GMT to your local time, and you know when there's going to be some explosive moves on these pairs. So Australian dollar, the rate announcement. Yeah, so that's 3:30 a.m. GMT, and then at 1:30 p.m. GMT, same day, the Canadian CPI. So you will get big moves on Aussie and the CAD tomorrow. Wednesday, we have 1 a.m. for the rate announcement on New Zealand dollar. Okay, so 1 a.m. New Zealand dollar rate announcement. Again, GMT, that's going to affect the New Zealand dollar. Okay, so if you do trade the New Zealand dollar, then be aware that on Wednesday, 1 a.m. GMT, there's going to be big news that will happen on the New Zealand dollar. Same day, 7 a.m. GMT, there's going to be CPI on the British pound. Okay, so same day, CPI, 7 a.m. That one is a big one. You might wake up and see some crazy moves happening on the pound pairs, and you might be wondering where is that coming from? That'll be coming from the CPI news on the British pound. Okay. Then same day, Wednesday, we have F1 meeting at 7 p.m. That sometimes can bring a bit of volatility in the market, but sometimes not. So it depends. Just be aware. And now, depending on how dollar index will trade prior to that, it will determine whether there's going to be big moves on that news event. So if, for example, Monday trades up and then Tuesday trades up, then Wednesday might be the day that they'll send it down, and that FOMC meetings might be what they will use to send price lower. Okay, so just just be aware of it. And then on Thursday, there is a unemployment change and an unemployment rate announcement on Australian dollar. So again, just become aware of it. Thursday, 12:30 a.m. That can affect the Australian dollar pair. We will talk about some of the Aussie pairs as well. Then finally, Friday, we have retail sales. There's a lot of them. You can go on Forex Factory and then check. I just wanted to bring your awareness to some of these because it's loaded, and I think this week is the third week of the month. Hence, just like last week, we will have a wonderful week this week. Big moves is going to happen on the currency pairs. Okay, so that's it for the news event. So back to the dollar index. Like I said, I'm expecting continuation to the downside. So watch this fair value gap here between now and 3:30 or between now and 5 p.m. GMT. If they are still below it, then the dollar index is weak. We will just continue going down. Now, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 down candles. So if they print one more down candle, then they might pull back. So just be aware that price does not fall in a straight line. There's always going to be some form of a pullback. Hence, we don't chase it, especially when we are below a low like this. If I were you, I'll kind of sit on my hands and wait unless you are in some trade ideas already for the long, medium term or short term. If you're already in some trades, if you are not in any trade, then don't take any long today on euro, on pound, on Aussie, on New Zealand. Do not take any long trade today. You need to sit and wait, all right? Because anything can happen today. Euro can drop, pound can drop, Aussie can drop, New Zealand can drop, because when a new, and this is something that I learned the hard way, it does not matter. The time frame is irrelevant. Sorry, the time frame is not a, it's fractal. Okay, when the candle opens, there's going to be some form of manipulation, whether up or down, depending on what is happening prior. So the monthly and weekly and quarterly time frame, those are the ones that I mostly refer to. Hence, when we open, if we are looking for lower prices, in this case, the dollar index, there's always going to be a high probability price will go up first. That's always going to be the case. You have to have that in mind all the time. There are exceptions which I got asked over the course of the weekend by someone to throw a little bit light on when not to expect it. Okay. So I'll throw a bit of light on when not to expect that kind of manipulation happening. And then I will throw light on when to expect it to happen. Okay, so when you know when it can happen, then obviously you sit and wait. But when you know it's not going to happen, then you can trade on that Monday. Okay, so that's why we've opened a new candle. Every new candle that opens, you have to have that mindset of waiting to see how, especially the weekly, monthly. The daily, not so much, because the weekly will tell you where it's going, the daily is going. Hence, you can just um, wait for time of the day, maybe early in the morning, then they will manipulate and then price will go down, or they'll manipulate and then price will go up. But when it comes to the weekly, because we are dealing with days, you need to be really careful taking a trade on Monday. And if you've gone through your trade ideas, or if you've gone through your account, you will know that most of your losses will come on Monday or Tuesday, because that's when the manipulation is happening and you happen to be part of that manipulation. Okay, so just be patient. There are conditions where you can trade on Mondays, but if you don't understand overall what price is doing and you trade on Mondays, it can really hurt you. All right. So yeah, that's that. So let's see how price will trade um, within the course of maybe the next 3-4 hours. Okay, and then we can determine what's going to happen for the rest of the week. Hence, I don't really like even giving analysis on Mondays. Generally, my forecast is done on Tuesdays because I want to see how Monday trades. Okay, so I'll mostly do my weekly forecast on Tuesdays, not on Monday. I don't do it even on the weekend. Okay, because I understand that there's going to be manipulation at the beginning of the week. Hence, if you give anything prior to that, it can change. And then obviously it can hurt those that you're giving that analysis to. Hence, I like giving my analysis, weekly analysis on Tuesdays. So most of the pairs that I'll be talking about, we're waiting for Monday to finish trading. Then we decide what we're going to do next. For example, all the majors, that's going to happen. I'm waiting for how Monday is going to trade, because that is going to give me more information going forward. But you don't want to be doing anything today. It's not likely to continue going up, and it can go up and it's not going to go down, but it can go down. Okay, so you need to sit on your hands and wait. Okay. So euro, we are waiting for how today is going to end, and then we can decide what we are going to do next. I've highlighted this fair value gap. It can trade to it before we resume going up. Hence, you have to sit and wait. I'm not saying we will not go up. It will still go up, definitely go up to this high. But as to when, that's the key. Waiting will tell you. So opposite to what the dollar index is doing, this fair value gap here. I think they've traded through it on the euro. So we are likely to we are likely to go down and then probably on Tuesday reverse and continue going higher because they've closed through this gap, which is not a good thing. Okay, they've closed through this gap, which is not a good thing. So we will probably go down and then resume going up on Tuesday or Wednesday, depending when it reverse. So we'll be looking for a reversal condition over the course of tomorrow and Wednesday. All right. So let's move on to British pound. Same thing, right? I think we had a wonderful trade idea last week. Really, really great trading British pound last week. We've reached all our upside objectives. So this week, same thing. We sit on our hands and wait. So if you look at last week's price action, right? This is Monday. Notice how Monday trades down, and then Tuesday trades down, and then reverse on Tuesday, forming the low of the week on Tuesday. That's the same thing that can happen this week, where Monday will trade down, Tuesday. When price is bullish, that's the perfect condition. Forming the low of on Tuesday, it's like the routine of what the algorithm does. This is a perfect week. That's why last week everything was great. When we have these conditions, trading is so easy. Where Monday we trade down, Tuesday we trade down, take out Monday, slow reject, and then we start going up. It's like the the perfect thing that price does all the time. If it does that every single week, you're gonna be a millionaire very soon. Okay. But it has other variations where it can form the low on Wednesday. So you might have to sit on your hands Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then Wednesday will form the low. Okay. But Tuesday is a classic. 70% of the time it will form on Tuesday when the conditions are set to go to a certain direction. So since we are expecting price to go up again this week, that's where we will expect at least Tuesday to form the low of the week. And just pay attention to Friday's low and today's low. Right? Where today is gonna end, you're gonna pay attention to that low because those are the two PD arrays that you want to price come for and then give you a buying condition to continue going up. Australian dollar, we will be screaming higher, as I mentioned. I think the news event that I pointed out, the rate announcement, the unemployment numbers this week will, in my opinion, will shoot Australian dollar up. If you see it going down, it's just a retracement. So buy the drop. Okay, so similar to what dollar index did last week, where the CPI shot price up and then it rejected above the high and then just dropped. The rate announcement coming on the Australian dollar this week and the unemployment numbers coming this week should send Australian dollar higher. All right. So if you see it going down, that's a buying opportunity. So if you can be in front of the screen at 3:30 a.m. tomorrow GMT and Thursday 12:30 a.m. GMT, you can catch something if they send it down. If they send it up, of course, that you don't catch anything. But if they send it down, then you buy the drop, or you buy, as they call it, the dip. Okay, so watch out for the Australian dollar for that for this week, and New Zealand too, same thing. I'm expecting them to take the New Zealand up. So on Wednesday, 1 a.m., that's when the rate announcement is. So if you can be in front of the screen at 1 a.m. GMT on Thursday. Sorry, Wednesday. Wednesday, 1 a.m. You can also catch something if they send it down. Because if they send it down, then it's gonna reject and go higher. Or they should just send it higher. Okay. So that's that for the majors. Now let's look at some of the crosses before we go over to gold and uh, crude oil and yes. Okay, so I wanted to talk about the Australian dollar. Now, last week, if you remember, on Friday, I said that if we can close as we are on Friday, I think somewhere here. Yeah, here. I said if we can close as we are, then this week, I don't want to see the market open, go up and then drop. It's just gonna open and then drop, right? And you can see that we open and we just drop. That was the question that I got asked over the course of the weekend. What are the signatures to know when price is going to open and drop rather than opening and going up and dropping? Okay, so if you have your pens ready, I will ever ask that question. Now, how did I get to know this? No one taught me. It was just price observation, right? I didn't learn this from ICT. It was just me observing and backtesting and um, reverse engineering. Okay. So when you look at price, you need to study the candles. I always say that study the candles and then learn what fractals means. Okay, fractal means whatever is happening on the lower time frame is happening on the higher time frame. However, if that's the case, then what is happening on the higher time frame controls what is happening on the lower time frame. Right? We need to establish that understanding. What is happening on the higher time frame is the same thing as what is happening on the lower time frame because price is fractal. But what is happening on the higher time frame controls what is happening on the lower time frame. Hence, the lower time frame fractals are less probability, right? They give you less probability of working out, but the higher time frame fractals will work like clockwork. Okay. So you always want to refer to the higher time frame fractals and then you trade them on the lower time frame. So what am I saying here? When you look at price, and I thought this in the form of a swing, because there's turning points in price. There's based on observation, I think there's 4 types of turning points in price. So we have a swing like this, where price will be like that. And this is a full lesson, but I'm just summarizing it. Price will form a swing like this, where this will close above this high, and then it will turn around like that. Okay. Or you have the same thing, but it will reject the high like this, and then this will drop. So you have a raid, and then sometimes you have a close. So there's 2 types of turning point. So you have this one where it takes this high and then reject, and the next candle goes down, or you have that one where price will go up, this will close above it, and then we reject and it will go down. And then the other one is, of course, the engulfing candle, which is something like that. So you have an engulfing candle like this. Okay. So those are the 3. There's another one which I've talked about, which is the special candle. It takes out this low here. Oops. It takes out this low here and then it just drops. We have this one as well. Okay. Now, when you study how the last candle forms, the last candle, not this one, the one that begins the rejection. Okay, that's the one that ICT calls the rejection block. the closing price. You study that closing price because that closing price tells you a lot. When you are studying that closing price, you study it relative to what was happening in the lower time frame. So here, the reason why you will know when price is not going to go open, rally, and then drop is on the weekly time frame, right? This will be the closing price. Okay, this will be the closing price. Now, if you look at the wick, okay, it will tell you whether when this candle opens, it will come up and then go down. That's where the study of the three types of swings that I just gave you is important. When you study those three types of swing, you will see something. You're going to see something in the lower time frame if you spend time on it. Okay, I don't want to go too much into details, but I'm giving you the hints so you can go and look at it for yourself. Because when you discover it yourself, it's gonna be more impactful rather than me just telling you. Okay, so when you go into the lower time frame inside this week, study that how if you go through price, for example, look at this week here. From here, right? Study how this wick formed in the lower time frame and what was the price signature that was in price at the time that this candle was rejecting, which stops price from going higher. I'll give you a hint and then you go do the rest. So one hint would be, for example, this down candle, because this down candle right, this down candle is within that previous week candle. Okay. This down candle is within that previous week candle, right? So if during that same week price is able to close below it, so if you go back to that weekly candle here, that's where the down candle is. So if that same week price is able to reject and close below that down candle, which is here, then there's a high probability that when we open the new week, price is going to struggle to go up because they've traded through a down candle, which was supposed to be acting as a support to continue price, which is take price high again. So if they can close below it, then when we open the new week, price will struggle to go above it because it will become basically a breaker, or it will become a mitigation block, right? So price will struggle to go above it. Hence, when market opens, you're not going to anticipate Monday going up, Tuesday going up, and then Wednesday will drop, because then it will violate the algorithmic principle of the order flow, okay? The algorithmic principle of order flow, where down candles are meant to be respecting price and up candles are meant to be breaking, right? When we are going higher, up candles will break, down candles will hold price. If we go beyond it from here, then that will basically violate the algorithmic principle. Hence, when we open the week, we don't want to see price go beyond it. So that's the reason. That's one. Okay, but if you sorry, if you go back and back test it, right, you will see more than that. And I'll leave that to you to go and do that work, because if I do all that work for you, you're not going to learn anything. So I'll leave the rest for you to go and look for it. So I've given you just one of them, which is this down candle. Okay, the rest you can do the back testing. Just put it on the higher time frame, put it on the weekly or on the monthly, and then study any rejection, the turning point in price. For example, here, price turn around, study what went in here, study what went on in here, study what went on in here, okay? And then the lows as well, study the lows. And then you see that there's always something happening in the lower time frame that will give you a hint that we are not going to go lower when market opens. Price will just open and then it'll go higher. Okay. So that is how I knew what was happening now, that we will not go up. We will just open and then we drop. Okay. So that's that for Aussie. I think we will resume going lower. We will break this low and then aim for, yeah. So based on the news event that is coming on, I think tomorrow, 3:30, I'll be really surprised if they send it up. I don't, um, I'm not a hardcore, it has to be like this, but I will always be on the side of where I think price is going. And then if it goes up, I'll admit that I'm wrong. Okay. So if we go higher, I'll be surprised, but hey, price will do what price wants to do. But there's a high probability within the 70% bracket that we will go lower. Okay, so I will go for that rather than looking for buys. Okay, so this is all a pullback, to especially if today can close like this. They would have gone through this gap and then they have another gap over here. Hence, I will expect a big down candle, like big one, to come. Maybe the same candle tomorrow to be sent to this level. So maybe by tomorrow, when we come for our live session, um, we will see maybe price. Let me check if it's tomorrow before I get it wrong, because on the first on our first day of meeting, I got the FOMC. No, I got the NFP day wrong. So yes, it's tomorrow, 3:30 a.m. So early hours before we will meet in the afternoon. So let's see, before we meet in the afternoon, where price will be. It will definitely be below this low. And if it's as aggressive as I'm expecting it, they can send it as low as somewhere here. All right. And then I'll be here and I'll be telling you, I told you so. If they send it up, then I think it will just be a pullback. They might come and attack the previous week high and then reject again. And then it'll just be a wick, similar to the dollar index this week here. So if they send it up, just anticipate that they're going to run for the high and then reject again, because that again gives you that higher high effect. This will be a high and then they'll go above it and then that will reject the previous week high. All right. So that's the business for the Aussie. EuroCAD, I think I would want to see them break this low and then I'll be really good for lower prices. I don't like the way Friday went above this gap again. This one, I don't like the way it went above it. So I want to see a close below this, then I'll be confident that we're going lower. So our trade ideas still stands, but right now I'm a little bit nervy because of how this candle closed above the gap. But I'm confident we will go lower. That is for sure. We will go lower. But as to whether they will run the high, which is the previous week high, because we ended up as an inside candle, right? A redistribution candle. And most of the time they like to take out the redistribution candles high before resuming going lower. Hence, we might experience a sharp move because there is news event on I think that's on tomorrow, CPI. So maybe tomorrow they might send a sharp move to the upside to take out the previous week high. So how we close today will be very, 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 very important to me. If we cannot close below this candle's low, which is Friday's low, if we don't close it below that today, then I would suggest we close the trade idea and then wait after the news event, which is the CPI on CAD. Because I have a strong feeling if we don't close below Friday's low, then they will send it up to take out previous week high, even as high as this fair value gap, and then reject it as a wick and come back down to attack this equal low. We will be coming for this equal low. Whatever happens, that's where price is going to come to. But as to when they will do it, they will do some damage if we don't close below this candle's low. So watch how today is going to close. If we don't close below this low, then if you are in a sell, as I gave last week, close it, wait for tomorrow after 1:30, the news. If we close below here with the news tomorrow, there's still room to the downside. I think ultimately they'll come for this low. So there will still be room to the downside, and you can get trade idea to go there. Okay. So if you close it, it's not going to be a loss. It's just going to be, you doing the right and waiting for the right opportunity. All right. Let's move on to, I think that's pretty much it for the crosses. Uh, let's move on to gold. So gold, last Friday, I was anticipating a run for this high, and during the live session in here, over here, we started looking for a buy, which I got in, and I got stopped out. Um, it did not break the buy on the 15 minutes. I couldn't break the buy on the 15 minutes, and then price was sent lower. So we came all the way down to this level. This was the level that we bought on Wednesday. And price rejected and it left the gap, right? And it came right there again. Okay, that's how powerful. When you know where these buys are, the real buys, those will be your point of interest, because anytime price comes there, you want to see something like this, right? So they actually came to a previous area of buying, and we saw a rejection. But based on how price closed on Friday, it's not good, but it is what it is. The week actually rejected the whole week, trading below this. So um, ideally, we should open, come down, and attack previous week low, yeah, and then reject and resume going higher. However, on the daily, that will mean we've gone through this down candle. Okay, that will mean we've gone through this down candle. Hence, there might be a possibility that we might be forming a swing high. Okay, there might be a possibility that we might be forming a swing high. So this might be based on just what I just described on the um, Euro Aussie. We could be forming a swing high, because on the daily we don't have any gap on the on the previous week, right? We didn't have any gap for price to trade through. We only had this down candle, right? So that down candle is still there. They've not actually done much. And if we were to even give it a name, this would be a consolidation. It's actually consolidating rather than dropping. So if we want price to go up, then we don't want them to come for the previous week low, because if they do, there's a high probability that we might be retracing based on this move, this impulse move. We might be retracing before we resume going up. Now we are in February, so it is possible. It is possible, because usually gold will form a high on in February and then drop till I think more or less June, July, and then resume going up. Or we wait for July to come and then price will resume going up. But the buy is from November to February. So keep that date in mind. Between November and February, November will form a low, and then February form a high. We will learn more about that in future. It's all about the seasonal tendencies. So based on what I'm seeing now, it's likely. So again, Monday trading is going to be very important. How we close today is going to give us more clue as to how tomorrow, Wednesday, and even the rest of the week is going to trade. Okay. So in my opinion, stay put. Okay. Stay put for the longs for now. And let's see how today is gonna trade, because I have a feeling that they might come down, attack this low, and we will not reject and come back for this equal high yet, right? So how do I know when it's going to do it? On the lower time frame, this H4 has given a big void, right? And we've traded 3 days down candle, right? So as long as we are below this big void, okay, price will come for previous week low. So there's a difference of understanding on the high time frame and then the lower time frame, because the lower time frame will give us the, I would say, the nitty-gritty of what the high time frame is doing, or the barriers that will prevent the high time frame from doing what it's supposed to do. So on the H4, we have this big void in here that will hold price from going higher. So as it stands, I think if I was to gamble right now, I'll sell gold to attack previous week low. That's what I'll do. I won't buy it. Based on what I'm seeing, I won't buy it. Okay. So a sell is more probable than a buy. If you want to buy, then wait for them to go and close above this high, which is a long way, okay, for them to go. Even if they do, this level is still going to be a problem, okay, because on the daily, they have formed this big turning point in price. So I'm in for more sells than buys, okay? So that's my opinion. Am I going to take a trade on it? No. Personally, I'm not going to take any trade on it because I like my conditions to be 70% and up to one direction. Right now it's 50-50. It can go up, it can go down. But it's slightly, I'll say 60 to the down, 40 to the up. So it's a little bit skewed, but I want 70. I want to be really sure, okay, before I take my trade. So I'm not really sure what they're going to do. So, but if you were to put a gun in my head right now, give me a direction. I would say previous week low. Okay. Crude oil still playing around. Nothing much has happened yet. So I'm still waiting. Again, last week I didn't like the way they printed this as an up candle, I told you, and you can see what they've done. So I'm waiting for the weekly to give me something. As it stands, nothing has really happened yet. I like the low rejection. So maybe a daily close above this will give us something. Okay, so let's wait for the end of today and then we'll do something with it. Yes, that equal high, that was always going to be the aim. And you can see Friday, they just screamed up for it. And I think they will be going up for it either today or tomorrow. So wait for that time of the day, the purple one, not the green one, the purple one, and then see if they will manipulate to the downside before going above it. I think they are pretty close to it. So a run for that high would be very, very aggressive. They might not wait. Okay. But I would suggest you wait for the blue or the purple line, which is 2 a.m. Sorry, 2 p.m. So in the next 9 minutes, go in. Any manipulation to the downside, drop on the lower time frame, look for the buy pattern, and then you can get an entry. Okay. I know I spent a bit of time over here and I did it on purpose because when it comes to the cryptos, what I was expecting last week did not happen. So it gives me the conclusion that this month will end up as either an accumulation month, because last week was meant to give us a big push to go and attack previous week high, and that did not happen. Some of them did, like I think Ripple did. Apart from Ripple, the rest couldn't go for the previous week high. Hence, right now, based on what I'm seeing, it means that the month might end up as a down candle, and that means we will stay in the consolidation. Okay, we will stay in the consolidation. So there's nothing much to do on the cryptos. now, maybe even till the end of the month. So move into scalping mode or day trade, preferably scalping. Okay. Then buy when it's down, rejecting to go up. So look at the range. I think the range is still there. It's the range. And they've moved into a smaller range. Now, I did recommend a book by Larry Williams, How I Made $1 Million Trading Commodities. In that book, he did give a clue on what is happening when price is in a consolidation like this. He said that when it's contracting, yeah, that's the terminology, contracting. Price is moving into a smaller range. When price is moving into a smaller range, then there's an expansion that is coming. There's going to be a big move coming. Okay, so price moves from big ranges to small ranges, from small ranges to big ranges. So when price enters into a small range like this, then there's a big move coming. So since they've stayed in this small range for almost making it so hard for crypto traders, right? Then there's a big range coming. And I think that might be next month. And I've not studied much about the seasonalities when it comes to cryptos, but I've heard that there's a high probability crypto goes up in March. I've not actually backtested it. This year is my first year of actually looking into crypto. So you can go and check it and see, does it go up every March? It seems like it might um, go up every March. I've not checked it myself, so I'll not be a good candidate to confirm this idea. So you can go in and check for yourself. Does it go up every March? If it does, then what is happening now is preparing price for that. Okay. Might be preparing price for that. So if you are a crypto trader, then obviously just sit and wait for March because you are going to get an explosive move too. Especially I like Solana. Okay, I like Solana based on the 3 months chart. Actually, it wasn't Solana. Let me see. I think it's Ripple. Yes, I like Ripple because it's printing the first down candle after a few series of up candles. So I like Ripple. Okay. Now it did manage to move away, but it still came back down. It couldn't close above previous week high. It rejected. So again, there's a high probability that the month is gonna end like a down candle, which would be the first area of accumulation after this big move. And then we might follow up with my drawing is still there. I'll keep these ones there. I'll hide them, but I'll keep them there. And when it does print, I'll bring them back up. So let me actually hide these two. So remember here, these, that's what I'm predicting. Okay. When they do come, I'll activate them again. Okay, there you go. They're hidden, they're there, but next 2 months you'll see. All right. So that's what I think going forward we should expect. Don't do much. Don't expect big moves happening because it's not gonna happen. Okay. So chill, wait for probably end of this month. So move into day trading, scalping, or whatever you want to do. Don't expect big moves happening because price could not go above previous week high. It's just playing around. Okay? And that's all for all the other cryptos. AI, the same thing. It has actually moved back down. So couldn't close above previous week high, which is not great, but again, the same thing. It's actually accumulating this month. And lest I forget, let me bring that lesson again. Let's remove all this drawing. I'll draw them again. So the same idea, right? How will you know that next month will open and then will rally? Study how this this wick is going to close. Okay. So in that wick, inside here, on the weekly and then on the daily, right? Especially on the daily. Notice that they've broken structure. They've broken above this up candle, or they've gone above the up candle. That in of itself is a sign that price should not be coming here. So wherever this month will end, the following month should just open and then start going up. We're not going to expect. So this is the opening price, the monthly opening price, and then we drop, and then we rally. Next month, you're not going to expect that. You're just going to see open, and then it just goes up. Okay. So I'll give you another example over here. Where the month opens, the low, from the low to the opening price, if price has rejected the low and came above the opening price, or it has rejected the low, this one, this is the low, we have rejected that low, drop down to the lower time frame and then find out what price has done. If they've broken structure like they have here, then there's a high probability the next candle, remember I said price is fractal, so we are dealing with the monthly now. So the next candle is meant to do this. If let's say this is the end of the month, then the March candle is supposed to do something like this. It might have a small wick like this, and then we shoot up. Or sometimes it will come without any wick. If you again go in price, it's all over. It's in price. Let me find an example and show you something like this. Okay, study this one here. Notice that this candle closed, the next month open, and then it shoots up. It does not go down. That's how you can anticipate them forming. Okay, when it will go up and when it will not come down and go up, you will know. Okay, so that's that. So all the cryptos that we look at, that's what's gonna happen. Hype obviously got back into that premium level, and then we got another rejection because we are in a consolidation. Okay, so lower prices is possible. Let's look at our last two and then we call it a day. Our favorite last two, Tatsuo and
That's
Tatsuki.
all. That's all.
Okay, let's look at Tatsuki first, because that's what I have first. It's done what I was expecting, rejecting, going down. I still suspect it's still not giving any buy signal yet. Let's go to the monthly. Yeah, it's not giving a buy signal yet. On the weekly, maybe on the weekly it might give us something. So watch probably this candle's low going forward. 0.003139. Watch that. We might continue going down to attack that before we resume going up. Now, why do I say that? Because they've traded through this doji candle, or doji, this doji candle. They traded through that, and then we have this up candle now holding price with this last week closing with a fair value gap here. With that, price will move lower. Okay, with that, price will attack lows. So here we might attack that, and maybe if they can do that this week and then start rejecting, then that can also prepare this pair for a potential move to the upside in March. Okay, so again, lower prices is preferred on Tatsuki. Let's look at Tatsuo.
That's all.
Yeah, same thing. I think I still have my drawing there. We've gone way beyond what I was expecting. This low here. Now, I think it's kind of waiting for that March. Okay, so when the beast is one, when it starts going up, when especially Solana starts going back up again, you expect these ones to start shooting up. Um, expect this one to start shooting up. Okay, so where we are, very, very low, very, very cheap. I will get as much as I can where we are now in preparation for next month. Because this month, like I'm saying, it's not likely to go up. It might prepare it to go up, but it was not likely to go up this month. So based on the weekly, right, we have one up candle, one, two, three. So one last down candle, and then the last week of the month will start giving you signs that we will be rejecting. Even the last week of the month, if we can get it to reject and come back above a daily up candle, that would be very good. Okay, so if the last week of February can get Tatsuo to come back above this, then the following month it will give us, a high probability that the month is gonna go up. Okay, until we get that, we're still gonna be patient for buys because where we are now, I don't think you want to sell. You definitely don't want to sell where we are. Okay, so it's just a buy that you have to do. So you can buy and sit for 2 weeks. I'm sorry, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months. Just buy and hold it because I don't think it can get cheaper as it is right now. Okay. So that's pretty much it from me for today. Lots of waiting to be done, but it's going to be worth it because that's
Yeah.
what price does.
And it's Monday too.
It's Monday, yeah.
Yeah. I love Mondays, to be honest with you. Because you know what happens is like on Friday, I'm like, oh, I love the weekends. And then on on Monday, I'm like, the excite there's more stuff going on. So the weekend novelty wears off, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Hey, great session as always. Super pleasure. Um, yeah, if why don't we cap it off and resume back tomorrow?
Sure, sure. If you come back tomorrow, because I personally, that's what I used to do. In my, I think 2 years ago, I was running a private mentorship group, a group mentorship, and we never meet on Mondays. I was always doing forecast on Tuesday. We meet on Tuesdays because Monday is a holiday for me.
Yeah.
So maybe moving forward in future, when we get into um, when we lock everything down, that is what we will do. Mondays will just be reserved for maybe private sessions, those that want to do one-on-one, those that want to have, um, you know, one-on-one with me or one-on-one with SP Dash, then we do that. And then Tuesdays, we do the live sessions.
Sounds good. We
Cool. All right. Take care, everybody. We will see you tomorrow.
All right. Take care. Thank you.